Thanks for joining me for this Met Office 10-day trends recorded on the World Meteorological Day, a sunny World Meteorological Day across the UK. And if you're enjoying the spring sunshine, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that it's set to last certainly for the rest of this week thanks to high pressure. It's been around for a few days and it's now moving back across the UK, sitting right overhead through Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Weather fronts at times dancing close to the far north of Scotland, but generally high pressure bringing plenty more sunshine. And it will continue to be pretty warm, certainly by day. Temperatures are not going to change too much as we run through the next few days as the high pressure ebbs its way in. Again, close to these weather fronts, some colder air does try and move in, and eventually, by the time we get to Monday, signs of colder air are pushing southwards across the Northern Isles. More on that, though, in a moment, because certainly for the next few days, temperatures by day will remain well above these March averages, which are typically single figures across Scotland, Northern Ireland, double figures further south. But for the next few days, most places will be well into the mid-teens, possibly up as high as 20 Celsius, perhaps just dropping down a degree or so as we head into the weekend, but still widely 16 or 17. Just signs of some mist and low cloud around the coasts of Northern Ireland, and by Sunday, increasing threat of perhaps some mist and low cloud out into the North Sea, which may just affect some coasts. But for most, it's going to be pretty warm by day over the next several days with plenty of sunshine and bar the odd very isolated shower, most places will be dry. As we've seen, warm by day. The nights, though, still chilly. The nights are still long enough, of course, for temperatures to drop well down, and we'll still have some pockets of frost around. And at times, with those weather fronts close to northern Scotland, a little bit more cloud here. What about into next week? Well, certainly it looks like we'll start largely still dry and bright. High pressure hanging on Monday. But as we saw earlier, the cold air is just threatening to push a little bit further south by Monday. Now, this is the Met Office computer model. Obviously, for these longer range forecasts, we look at many computer models, and they are showing some differences by the time we get to Monday. The main theme remains the same, that we are expecting things to turn colder. But the timing of the colder air, well, that's open to a bit of doubt. Now, this is the Met Office model, has the colder air there just pushing in to the Northern Isles of Scotland. But if you look at the European model, it's a different colour scale, so apologies for that. But you can see that the colder air here is much further south. This is the same time frame, Monday midday, and the colder air by Monday in the European model is much more extensive already across the northern half of the UK. And then by Tuesday, well, the whole of the UK is blue, so we're all with that colder air by then, and likely to still be in it on Wednesday also. By which time the isobars have opened up, so the winds won't be as strong. Just a suggestion by Wednesday that the milder but more unsettled Atlantic weather may be starting to make some inroads. So what does that mean? Well, this is when we run the computer model several times and we get a more probabilistic view of the patterns into next week. Again, this is the European computer model. Now, this is the meridional trend, which is basically telling us whether northerly or southerly winds are most likely to dominate. Southerly being red on the chart and northerly being blue. The dates going forward along the top there, and the previous computer model runs down the side here. Now, what we can see from this is that red will dominate. So we've got a southerly airflow for the next couple of days at least. And then as the high pressure is sitting right over us through Friday and the weekend, it's neither northerly nor southerly, which is why it's green. But then that's reasonably strong suggestion and reasonably consistent here going back in time that through Monday and Tuesday we are going to see a switch to that northerly wind bringing the cooler air further south across the UK. So we are expecting that switch. Could it be Monday? Could it be Tuesday? Well, it depends on where you live and depends on the exact timing. But it does look as if we are going to be turning colder as we go through into next week. And eventually we'll lose the high pressure as well. This is showing that pressure trends, the percentages from 0 up to 100, where red is high pressure and blue is low pressure. dates going along the bottom. So high pressure set to dominate through the next several days, as we've seen. But then just a suggestion, although the high pressure likely to hang on initially with the colder air, just a suggestion, the blue starting to grow there towards the back end of next week, suggesting that low pressure is going to get closer. But even then, it's not a strong signal. It's still only kind of 50-50. So it's not nailed on that we're going to lose the high pressure. Just a suggestion that things will turn a little wetter as we see low pressure perhaps moving in. So the things we know about next week, definitely likely to turn colder through the early part of next week, but staying largely dry initially before potentially turning a little bit wetter through the second half of next week. So that's the trends for next week. For day-to-day details, just to see the exact temperatures day on day, make sure you're following the Met Office across social media.